Hey guys, Dave here, back with another episode of Final Fantasy Brave Exvius War of the Visions. What's up? Today's episode, we're going to look at the JP version of the game. We're going to look at the top 15 quality of life improvements in JP. Now, I'm going to go right out and say I'm not 100% sure that all of these are coming to global, but a lot of the changes we have on global, the improvements, have already come from JP, so I would assume we're going to get all of them. I'm going to start in reverse order at 15, so let's jump right in. Number 15, higher max level guild statues. All right, guys, so what does this mean? Our guild statues right now on global, they go up to level 5. I'd love to show you, but I just left my guild today because of the members not participating. But the new statues, they're going to go up, they're going to give you more stats, and they're going to give you more JP per hour and other bonuses from going up. And the bonuses, as you get closer to level 10, I believe are double, maybe even triple in some cases than level 5. So that gives you another thing to aim for in your guild. So you definitely want lots of participation, which is why I left this guild. Great. So that's number 15. Next, number 14, mock guild battles. So what is a mock guild battle? Well, you guys have probably all participated in a guild battle. Mock guild battle is going to be in your menu here down at the bottom. What it's going to do, it's going to take your basic meta teams, which characters are appearing the most, what skills are they using, what espers, what vision cards. It's going to put that all in together, and it's going to put it on the map. So we have beginner, intermediate, and advanced. We can choose what we want. This is going to be a little bit different here because you can go in with 5 characters if you want it to be realistic. Only go in 1, 2, 3, your main 3. Set them up the same way you would your attacker team, your defensive team, and see how that goes. So I'm going to pop in here real quick so you can see the new map. All right, so this is the map of the week or the month. I'm not sure, probably the month. It's this new map here. It's got a raised, elevated chessboard, checkerboard in the middle. I believe this map was made, this purple-haired unit right here, Irudia. She's one of the units, mathematician. What she's going to do is do more damage to units the higher up they are. So she has a long range, and she can hit up maybe 3 or 4 squares in the air, I think. Up or down 3 or 4 squares. So she's like the opposite of an archer. The higher, the bigger advantage she has. So I'm not going to go through the whole match here or whatever, but that's what it is. All right, that was number 14, mock guild battles. All right, number 13, we're going to jump right over to the chocobos. All right, so on global, I don't know if you guys have taken a look, but if you come into your party formation and you click up here, we have a list of all the items. Some people might not have noticed, but you can get, down at the bottom, you can get all of the, like a combo of the Esper Awakening material. You can get crafting material there as well. But what I'm pointing out here on JP is a little bit different. So for limited time units, especially you guys who are after those limited time units, Final Fantasy Tactic fans, you can get your unit shards here from the chocobo missions, as well as, yes, it's back, the Ragnarok, if you didn't max it out the first time. And this new item, Sorti Reju, it's an accessory, I think, with defense, a little bit of dodge, and some hit points on it. So it's pretty decent. You can get it with the tokens, so it's not going to cost you anything. All right, that was number 13. Number 12, let's back out of here and go right over to the shop. Number 12 is new vision card fragments added to the shop. So right now we have a garbage vision card. It's one of the low rarities. I don't even know what it does, to be honest with you. But I've seen Shiva, Ifrit, Ramu, Odin, Tetraphil, all those guys in the shop here. So if you're like maybe a couple away from getting your next star rank, go ahead and pick them up. It's only 50 for 5 shards instead of 250. So in my opinion, it's a pretty decent deal for that. So those are going to be there for you. All right, number 11, kind of overlaps with this, but the shop overall size has been increased. Yeah, I think we have some more job things down at the bottom, as well as maybe a little bit more crafting materials added in, as well as recipes here in the middle. So, the more variety you have, the better chance you are to get what you're looking for. Also, the Whimsy shop, it's not up right now, but the Whimsy shop added a fourth line of items. So it's easier to find something in the Whimsy shop that you might be after. And one more thing. Starting with, I believe, this Final Fantasy Tactics 2 banner, up until this point, for example, Final Fantasy Tactics, you can only buy one set of shards for your vision card. All right, 25, okay, 1-star rank. This is a repeat of the old event, but it's only been one up until now. But now you can buy up to 3. So what does that mean? Yeah, it's going to cost more lapis here, free lapis or paid, either one. But you can now take your vision cards up to 2 stars. Now, this is the first time it's been here. I don't know if it's going to stay or not, but it's a really nice change. I picked up this, I got lucky on my first pull. I got the limited time red chocobo, which is also an Esper. Definitely worth getting, so you at least get the Esper. Really, really strong vision card. So, for only 600 times 3, that was like, 2 daily login bonuses. So I picked those up. All right, so that was number 11. Number 10, was again in guild. Right now in global, we can't lower or we can't raise our faith in the barracks. On JP, you can. There's an arrow next to faith, and you can click up or down. So if it's a melee unit, you click down in most cases, not all. And if it's a magic user, you're probably going to click up. So great feature there. Unfortunately, I'm not in a guild, so I can't show you. I apologize. All right, moving on to number 9. Okay, so we have monthly tokens. Here, I did a lot of pulls on this Iridia banner, which is at the beginning of the month. I got, a couple hundred tokens, and I went over to the Mog shop. I'm like, well, why do I have tokens in this new vision card banner? I haven't pulled on it at all. Okay, well, what they did is they combined, on global, you've noticed like April banner 1, April banner 2, and they were separate. The Yerma and the Frederica ones were separate. Well, this time, let's say you pull on a unit, Iridia at the beginning of the month, but you don't get her. Well, you're like, oh, well, I don't want Ayaka or Victoria either, so I'm just going to hold off. Well, you hold off, let's say you have 500 shards, then the next banner comes along, you get a copy of the vision card, you can use those 500 on this banner here, so they aren't going to waste more to use them on. I think that's a really nice addition there. All right, number 8. Number 8, I'm not going to go into a mission to show you guys because it's going to take too long, but basically the skip button in global, you have to go into the menu, you have to hope the character isn't buffing, or else the menu will either be closed or it will disappear. It's super annoying. So on JP, at the top of the screen, the skip button is there. Unfortunately, they only half fixed it because when you buff, the skip thing disappears and it comes back. But at least it's right there, and it's a lot quicker. It takes maybe 1/3 the amount of time. All right, number 7. Lookups and other menu navigation has become quicker. So let's say I want to come here into Ayaka. I need more of these blue faint memories. So I go to Missing Fuang, come in here, I check out the items. Oh, okay, well, I also, Ayaka's wind, we have lightning, I want wind also. So back out, whoa, that was quick. Okay, so we don't have to go back to the story screen. It's almost instantaneous, and then you can go into the next one, and then you can back right out. So menu navigation, they've taken out unneeded things, and it's become quicker. So this is about halfway up my list because I think that's a very nice change. I spent a lot of time leveling up the jobs for my unit. All right, number 6. Let's go right over to multiplayer. Come in here to multiplayer. We're going to open a room. So a popular one might be the new EX quest for this. First change right here. I've previously set 1.5 speed and auto battle. Great, right? On global, you have to reset that every single time you create a room. It's super annoying. On JP, it retains that information for you. So that's our first bonus right there. Now we come into a match here. How many matches have you been in where you finish the match and then that one guy just doesn't come back? Like they go to the bathroom, they forget the game is on, they fall asleep, and you can't do anything about it. Well, in JP, you don't have that problem anymore. Down in the lower right corner here, a boot appears and you can kick that person right out. So hopefully somebody joins real quick and we can see that. Another nice thing about multiplayer is when you host, you also get bonus drops. So on global right now, everybody gets the same drops. On JP, I've seen you get like an extra 2 types of items, and then you get, for example, I got like 4 sword books, and then I got another 2 sword books as a bonus. So we're gonna kick this guy, sorry guy, just to show you the feature right there, and then we're gonna back out of the room. So if there's, somebody comes in there with a level 20 Monty, or somebody AFKs, just kick them out because it'll fill up again. Another nice thing about multiplayer, they fixed some more freezes and crashes. It still freezes and crashes, especially on the emulator, which I use to save my iPad batteries and whatnot, but definitely better than global current state. So it's definitely a change that I'm looking forward to. All right, another change that's really great, when you get a new unit, like Iridia and I believe Urudora, the blue-haired soldier that came out 2 units before this on JP, you get a special hard mode for new characters. So this is for free-to-play players, this is for paid players. What it means, for 8 days, you can get 5 shards a day. It's about a level 25 quest. So you can get 40 shards after 8 days. So what does that mean? That means you want to pull the unit and you want to get your unit on day 1 of the banner. That way you get those extra shards. You get your first limit break basically for free just by doing those quests. So really good deal there. The other thing that they added, actually before I come in here, on our daily bonus on global, right, they changed 300 down to 60, so you spend $1 a day, and after 5 days you get 40 shards, right? Well, JP, it's still at 300, or the equivalent of $3 a day, and then you get similar items, but you don't get the character shards. But don't get upset. Don't get upset. They have something far better. So if you're saving up a lot of lapis, whether it's free or paid for a certain unit, which one is it? It's this one right here. So spending lapis, any lapis, even if it's on something other than the banner, you get this bonus right here, lapis spent. So as you can see, 3,000, 6, 12, 4, 24, and 50. I'm sorry I said lapis, I meant Visior. You get all these bonus character shards right here. So that's what, a 20, 40, 55, 65, 70. You get 70 here, plus all this yarn, what, 2 or 6, what, like 9 yarn and 70 shards? That's really great. I mean, it might be tough to say about 50, maybe even 24, but if it's a character you really want, you're probably going to at least have 12,000 sitting around. So even in that case, you're getting, what's that, like 15, 30, and 4 rainbow yarns. So really good deal, guys. Especially later in the game when there's a bunch of characters and you have harder content. You don't have 3 months to do hard quests to get that character up. You need that character up quickly. So JP's answer to that was the limited time hard quests that are in addition to the regular ones. So it's not in place of it. You can still do the regular 2 shard a day quest and that, plus the lapis spent thing. So I think it's a really nice change, especially if you have a favorite character and you want to get them powerful fast and you saved up your Vizier for that. All right, number 4, the item exchange shop. Some of the stuff in here made me really scratch my head because I honestly do not know what they were thinking. So here's one example right here. So rainbow fragments, right? They're really good. They're a bottleneck. But you need 5 rainbow yarns, 5, to equal 1 rainbow fragment. So, what in the world were they thinking there? If anything, these, you have to use them on URs, right? You need more of them than the rainbows. You need them for limit breaks, and you need them for UR vision cards. So even though these are needed on all units, even the Zazan, the rare unit, you're going to need a lot more of these in the end, probably about twice as many, because let's face it, if it's not UR, it's usually not that good. There are a bunch of good MR units that are almost as powerful, if not as powerful, but they're going to use these, right? So you don't want to waste these for an MR unit. That's a complete waste. But the other categories, you're going to get a boatload of these lying around, so you can trade in those right there, and that's going to give you rainbow yarn. Another example here, shards. Let's say we want wind. We're going to trade for a similar thing. We don't have an ice unit on this account, so we have 305, but we do have Ayaka, so let's say we want like 10 of those right there. So I think we can do, up to 150. So then we get 150 of those, we go up to 323. I thought this red meant I was in a minus where I couldn't do it, but I was mistaken. All right, and then you can get some other things as well. So, the statues aren't really worth it. You'll get a boatload of those before you get the name of the soldiers' memories and stuff that you're looking for. But some of the stuff in here can be pretty useful. These complete waste because you can get them just through like multiplayer missions for free. All right, number 3. This is probably what a lot of you guys are looking forward to. I have some bad news. It's not as good as you thought it might have been, but I'll explain. All right, so right now in crafting, when you craft an item, you have a 33.3%, in other words, a 1 out of 3 chance of getting what you want. All right, let's take a look. Platinum mace. Right here we have assault. Assault is one of the 3 things. Well, this is mainly for a magic unit, so assault, like, why is that even an option? I don't know. Here we have vital. The hit points are still piss poor, but we have a high attack and high magic. The attack's almost as high as assault, and the magic is much, much higher. So what were they thinking, really? But what we really want is magic. Unfortunately, I didn't get that, right? So we only have one more recipe. We could create it and we could try to get magic, but I'm going to show you how it works. So we have 2 plus zeros that I just showed you. We have assault, and then we have vital. But what we really want is magic, right? So when you make your first +1 or higher, +2, +3, you can choose which one you want. So let's take a look. We're going to go here. Okay, we have our 2 plus zeros. We have all of our mats. We're going to hit create. Uh-oh, where's the magic? Well, we have vital, we have assault, but where's the magic? All right, here's the kicker, guys. You need to actually create a magic to be able to choose it. So you can't have assault and vital and then pull magic out of nowhere. So by the time you get to +5 out of those 63 creations, you need to make at least 1 magic, which should be no problem whatsoever. So when you're upgrading, once you get that magic, just be careful when you change it to a +2, make sure you keep the magic. When you change it to a +3, +4, +5, make sure you keep it all the way up to guarantee that you're going to get the one that you want, okay? But right now on global, if you're holding off, right, if you're going to say, I'm going to wait until the patch to fix crafting before I turn this into a +5, and you've got your Nagnarok, you've got your magic, and you've got your vital, and you're like, all right, I'm going to get an assault. Well, no, you're not going to get an assault. You're going to need to actually get a +4 assault. So break down your +4 now, and then keep making it, or break it down to a +3 and remake it until you get that assault. Because it's better to do it now while you can still farm the stuff rather than when it's too late. Okay. Same thing here with the Ragnarok. We come in, we only have a magic and assault. Well, those are the two good ones. We don't need vital, but I didn't make a vital, so I can't upgrade it into a vital. So it's a really, really great change. There's almost a 0% chance you won't get it by the time it's +5. But again, guys, if you're holding off, make sure that you have your assault or your magic or whatever you're aiming for ready at +4 when this patch rolls around, okay? If you don't, you're going to be disappointed. All right. Next, one of my favorite changes, number 2. So we're going to come in, just pick a random event, pick the pots, come in here. All right, so how many missions or arena battles have you gone into, and instead of Monty attacking and finishing off a unit that has 20% hit points, he instead throws a rock instead of moving over to the unit and attacking? I've seen it all too often. If you have Ayaka as a time mage, she'll cast level 1 Immobilize that has like a 1% chance of going off, and the other unit, she has 2 units next to her dying that aren't getting heals. So after this change, Ayaka becomes a real beast in PvP, and other units like Monty, who have a couple useless abilities, are going to become really a lot stronger than they already are. So how do we check this? How do we set it? Well, you have to be in a character selection screen like this, not the unit screen. You're going to hold down on the unit, and then I will show you from here. So his main job is Lord. We're going to hold down on that again, and then we have all of his skills here listed. The first one here, oops, it's annoying. The first one here is Rock Throw. So that's the one that everyone hates. Right here you can see it's on and off. This one here is his attack buff right here. Kyo Netter, I don't know, I forget what it's called in English. Turn that on, off. I'm going to keep it on because that's going to boost his AP. That's actually like a decent one. Then you come in here for Lord also, same thing. Body tackle, we want to keep that. But first aid, or I think it's Saintly Heal in English, it heals for almost nothing because he has low faith. So garbage, off, wasted move. You can also come into Limit Break, turn that on or off. He's got a good one. Getting 49 AP, almost impossible, but really great. Again, Ayaka, if we want to change her stuff here, she's a white mage now, but oh gosh, how many games have you created where all she does is cast Protect and Shell? Well, you can come right in here and turn that off, and then she's not going to do that anymore. So guys, this is going to change PvP completely. Units that used to be bad before, I had a friend who had Stern, and all he did was cast poison on people instead of shuriken and some of his stronger abilities. So if you've accidentally unlocked a bad skill, like my Frederica on Global, I unlocked Supercharge, and she does that, and then by the time it goes off, the unit's already dead. What a waste. So guys, this is a game changer. This is a complete game changer. The only thing is you cannot change trust. So another thing, if I choose a friend unit right here, oh gosh, none of my friend units have trust abilities. All right, well, I think even a guest unit we can change as well. So let's see, yeah. So guest units or friend units, we can come in here and turn it. So Blizzara, we want that on or off. I've used medians that were only using Drain right here, which was actually pretty effective. They never died because their hit points were always full. The only disadvantage, like if we come in here to Mediana's thing, you can see her trust ability here. There's nowhere to turn it on or off anywhere. So like, for example, Frederica's, it's a pretty good ability to remove status effects, but the AI uses it when there's no status effect instead of attacking or doing like an attack buff or something useful. So it's a really bad thing right now. So really looking forward to this, guys. Last one, number 1. This is since this game is so time consuming, in my opinion, this is by far the best change to the game. So it's auto farming. So we come here to our auto farm settings. Number one, we can set how many times do we want to run this. Okay, I want to run it 9 times. It's going to cost 72 energy. Oh, I only have 52. Let's turn on auto refresh. Use up to 4 pots. Okay, pretty simple, guys. Then we can come down here to items. Okay, what item do we want? Well, this is a limited time one, just as an example, but I want 20 mini burst pots. So keep going until 20. All right, when you're done, there's no OK button. So you think it might be canceled, but it won't. Just close it out. Make sure your auto battle is on. If this isn't on, even if you have auto repeat on, you're just going to sit in there. Your character is basically not doing anything. So 1 auto battle on, and then 2 auto repeat on, and then once you head out, it's going to go again and again. Well, that's similar to what we have on global, right? Except that you can choose what item you want, how many you want, or how many times you want to do it. So if you go AFK for an hour and you only want, let's say, 20 of these pots instead of 35, you can set that. Great. But the biggest thing is, how many times have you gone AFK, fallen asleep, you come back and you got the fever or you got the whimsy shop? It's made me so angry. It's destroyed my battery on my iPad and phone and whatnot. So guys, definitely the second awesome change for this is it's going to automatically close the fever. It's going to automatically close the whimsy shop, and raids happen the same way too, randomly between missions. It's going to automatically close those raids. The only thing I'm not sure about is if you have like extra Gafgarian tokens, like you're farming the tactics event and they pop up. I'm not sure whether or not it's going to X that out. But this is by far the best in my opinion. All right, guys. Next, moving on to bonus. That was your 15 quality of life improvements. The bonus is I'm just going to give a quick introduction to upcoming event types. So in global, we haven't gotten any real challenge events yet. In JP, they have 3 different types. Okay, number 1, it's kind of like tower mode. You guys might have heard of like the white tower that's already come out with the 20 floors. You go up 1 floor at a time. The mobs get harder and harder. By floor number 20, you're fighting level 90 units, and then you get like a really nice reward. Well, they introduced that. It was a little too hard. I guess a lot of people complain. So this time it's only 10 floors, the deep dungeon, and they put the reward right here on level 5. It's another UR sword like Excalibur, except it has star ranks, and you actually need materials and ore to level it up. Okay, so you have to run, if you don't have the materials, run through the dungeon 3 times in order to get enough of the shards, or you can run the ice chocobo missions and get like the mega crysts, crafting mega crysts in advance, because that's the bottleneck. But basically what you do here, every floor it gets a little harder. As you can see, a lot of these mobs have different resistances, so they're not just regular 55s. This whole floor might have a 20% resistance to missile attacks. So you're going to take your Frederica in there, and she's going to be basically shooting like rubber bullets at these things. So you're going to have to plan around that. Okay, they're weak against bullets, but they're really strong against, they're strong against bullets, but they're really weak against strike attack. Okay, so take your Ziza in there, take your Etre, the free unit in there, and show those skeletons who's boss. All right, the only other thing about this is when I think you can make a couple teams, but when your team goes through, when a unit dies, that unit you can't use it anymore in the event. So you want to avoid unit death as much as possible. I believe you can revive, but at the end of the match, they have to be alive, or you're not going to be able to use them in the next floor. And I think once a day you can revive all the hit points of your characters. But the uses of your skills, you have to use them wisely. Because let's say Monty has tackle. You have 3 charges of that, but you can only use 3 charges in all 10 floors. So the first 3 floors, you might just want to use light heals and auto attack. Guys, this is where you're going to have to build up, a strong roster of units. I know some of you guys, especially Final Fantasy Tactics, all right, great, I got Orlando, I got Rams, I'm good to go. No, you're not. You need a full team. The reason the devs for this game put in SR units and MR units and gave them different, like rainbow and then the blue and then the yellow yarn, is so that you can raise up different units at the same time without conflicting with one another. So you want a variety of elements, you want a variety of attack types, and you want a variety of rarity levels, because you're going to want a whole team of probably at least 89 units to go into this. You don't want just 2 strong units, or I can guarantee you're not going to make it all the way through. Even if they're not taking much damage, you're going to run out of attacks and you're going to be stuck with auto attack. And eventually they're going to whittle you down and you're going to die because the other units won't be able to support you. So you need a lot of elements, a lot of attack types, good healers, basically just a good variety of team formation to come into these. There's some tutorial videos or some playthroughs on JP if you understand Japanese that are really helpful. So we have those coming up. Another one that we have coming up, it's not right here right now, I don't believe, but there's somewhat challenging bosses. They had Iron Giant, I think they had a Slime, they had Ochu, which is the big googly eye-looking thing. Where is it? This thing right here. This was a boss as well, Ochu, and it's like a normal boss with a couple other mobs, kind of like the Final Fantasy 14 event, and it's going to give you armor and stuff. So that's another one. The final one is going to be your raid bosses. We haven't gotten any raids yet on global, but here on JP, I think this is their 3rd, if not 4th raid. So this raid is a double raid. It's their 6-month anniversary and Golden Week, so it's kind of like a special event. As you can see, we have the Gold Cactar and Ifrit. So when these guys are low level, you don't need to have strong units. You don't even need to have the right element. You could fight Ifrit with fire, no problem. But as these guys get stronger, like when Ifrit is level 100, I think he had like 130,000 hit points. So not only are you going to have to, take off all those hit points, but your attacks max at 9999 unless you have the new vision cards that increase the max cap. So you're going to want to chain with multiple units. 2, you're going to want the elements that he's weak against. So for Ifrit, you're going to want water units to go up against him. Or you're going to want, Delita, Rain, and the other Fire Mage to drop his resistance, and you can still, I saw level 100 taken down with fire in the amount of turns. But with the raid boss, you only have X amount of turns to take him out. So I think it's his turns, so like 5 turns for Ifrit or something like that to take him out. So units like Ziza or Time Mages with Steel Time, even chaining Steel Time, are going to be super, super important when the raid bosses get to higher levels, to be able to finish them off and get the full bonus before they disappear. Now, how does the boss appear? Like I said, randomly during missions, right? This is the one that's challengeable now. Then you go in here to help. You can go in to refresh. And these are all the other people who requested aid. So there's 3 types you can have. You can do it solo, which might be tough if you don't have a full roster of water units, or where you can drop his fire resistance, etc. with like Delita, the new unit. So if you can't do that, you can do a team. So you can do 2 of your units, 2 of a friend's units, 2 of a guildmate's units. But all of these games here, or at least most of them, they're going to be 4 different people with 1 strong unit. So like free-to-play players, newer players, people who just don't have maybe water units or stuff to go up against him, you're going to want to join here. So if we join here, hopefully this room is still up. You can just get an idea. But we come in here, people ready up and whatnot. And then once you have 4, you go in and you fight them. So those are your new upcoming events. So that's it for the bonus information. I just have one. What is this? Yeah, I'm not interested in encountering him right now. All right. For paid players, I'm sorry, not here. Paid players get 3 new bonuses. This one right here, it's going to give you an additional 10 hard quest attempts a day. I don't think you're going to be able to get like 4 shards for one character unless you pay 50 Visior for that refresh. But you have that and 3 more attempts at all of the turtles, the vision eggs, and all that stuff. Even though the ore and the cubes are useless in my opinion, mostly useless, you still get more attempts. This one right here, you get double JP from quests, as well as double Esper affinity or resonance, whatever it's called on global, for that as well. So that's what the heart there was right here. Okay, and the third one, and in my opinion, this is maybe the only one that's really worth it. So this one right here, it's going to increase the success rate of your weapon. So if you've made a +5 like I have, you'll realize it's almost impossible to hit, let's say, assault. I made the +5 assault axe for my Yerma. I only hit like 203 or 190, and then I had to use hammers, right? The hammers are really, really hard to get. You can only get 3 a month through Arena for each type, so you don't want to be wasting those, guys. What you want to, so this pass, if you are willing to put a little bit of money into the game, all of these passes last for 1 week, as it says here, and then during that week, for hit points, attack, magic, you get 15% increased rate. For all the others, 3%. So I've watched some JP videos where they're making +5s, guys, and almost every time they hit the max cap, like 212, or for Ragnarok 163 for assault, without having to use any hammers, or maybe just one hammer. Guys, that's what you want. It's a lot cheaper to reset that back down to level 1 star +5 and put in your seals and ore again than it is to put in like 10 attack hammers, because those hammers are hard to come by, and we're going to be getting multiple weapon and armor events each month. Okay, so if you are a paid player, this is something to look forward to. If not, and you're still free to play, that's fine too, because you have the other quality of life crafting changes coming as well. All right, guys, those are all the changes. I apologize for the long video. Again, I don't know if it mentioned it, but again, in the timestamp, I have all the things so you can jump around. If you liked the video, please comment, like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time on another episode of FFBE War of the Visions. Take care.